Hey guys, it's August. You know what that means. School is in session 1 month from now. Okay, so I know that some of you are excited to go back to school. Woo, woo, woo! And some of you, not so much. But hopefully I can turn that frown upside down. Yeah, that wasn't cheesy at all, Niki. It has been a long time since I was in school. I'm only 25, but it feels like forever. But I definitely remember wanting to go back to school every year with a new, fresh look. There's like a massive bee outside my window right now trying to get in. Mr. B, it's not a very good idea to keep banging yourself against the glass like that. So anyway, as I was saying, I remember wanting to go back to school every year with a fresh and new look to start the year off on a good note. I was always playing around with my hair and changing it up. I was coloring it all the time, going from my natural hair color to blonde to red and then brown and then blonde again. I basically put it through the ringer and back again. There are a ton of ways that you can freshen up your hair look without coloring it or potentially damaging it for good. So I wanted to help you girls out and show you a ton of different ways that you can style your hair for school and make sure that you look your best from Monday to Friday. I really want to show you guys a bunch of braided hairstyles, heatless hairstyles, running late hairstyles. So I plan to post 4 different back to school inspired hair tutorials for the month of August, so there's a little bit for everyone. Plus, I'm going to be posting some other fun tutorials throughout the month as well. My goal is to post between 4 and 8 videos this month on top of all the other work I have to get done. So yeah. Please wish me luck. You can do it, Niki. So without further ado, let's get right into the first back to school hair tutorial for this month. Now to create these 3 braided looks, I did clip in my 240 gram set of fancy hair extensions because my hair is medium length, but if your hair is already long, then you don't need to do this and you will have no problems recreating these hairstyles. If you have medium length hair like I do naturally, you'll still be able to recreate these hairstyles. They'll just look a little bit different and the braids might not look as long and plush. So what I did here was pick up a chunk of hair close to the back of my head and under my crown area. I clipped in one of the 1-clip wefts from my fancy hair extension set into this section to make it longer and thicker. I'm also clipping in another 1-clip weft from my hair extension set into another section so that this section is a lot thicker and a lot longer. After I brush this section out, I'm simply going to divide it into 3 strands and braid a basic 3-strand braid. After I braided a couple of inches down and I feel like my braid is starting to lose some thickness, I'm taking another 1-clip weft from my set and I'm clipping it in right into the back of the braid, and I'm separating that section of hair into 3 and incorporating it into the braid so that each section is equal and it has a section of hair from that clip in the hair itself. I have absolutely no idea if that made any sense, but hopefully you guys get my drift by looking at what I'm doing. And now I'm just repeating the exact same steps another few inches down the braid with my last 1-clip weft. So as you can see, my braid is super long at this point, so I'm going to stop here and I'm pulling apart the sides of the braid to add thickness to it. The reason I'm not doing this when I finish the braid all the way to the ends is because once you do that and the braid is super long, it becomes really hard to pull apart the braid. So I'm going to pull it apart here and make any adjustments if I need to, and then I'm going to continue braiding all the way down to the ends. Don't worry at this point if you have any clips showing if you're using clip-in hair extensions like I am. Once you pull apart the braid and you pin everything in place, they're going to be hidden and you won't see them at all. And if they are still peeking through at that point, you can always unclip them and readjust them and clip them back into the hair in a way that they're not visible. To say this braid is mad long is an understatement. Once I finish braiding, I'm tying off the end of the braid with a small hair elastic, and then I'm taking the braid and wrapping it all the way around my head and I'm pinning it in place with bobby pins. I'm also taking the end of the braid and I'm tucking it behind the braid to hide it and make it look like one long braid going all the way around my head like a halo. I'm just making a few adjustments to the front of my braid, and there you have the first back to school braided hairstyle. So for the second braided hairstyle, I'm taking a chunk of hair from above my ear, underneath my crown line, so again, I can cover it up with the hair on top, and then I'm clipping in one of my one clip wefts into this section. I'm clipping it onto the underside so that when I flip my braid over to go across my head, it's going to be covered and you won't be able to see it. So what I'm doing now is just separating that section into 3 sections, and I'm braiding a Dutch braid. A Dutch braid is simply a regular 3-strand braid, but instead of crossing the strands over the middle strand, you're just going to cross them under. So just like the previous braid, every couple inches or so, I'm going to stop braiding and clip in one of the one clip wefts from my hair extension set into the underside of the braid, and then incorporate equal sections from the clip into the braid. So I'm just repeating these steps one more time, and I'm not going to be clipping in my last one clip weft because I just need the braid to be long enough to reach the other side of my head. So now I'm going in and pulling apart the braid with my fingers to thicken it up and make it look a lot more interesting, and this is also going to cover up any of the one clip wefts that I clipped in previously. So after I pulled apart my braid, I'm taking it behind my ear and I'm pinning it in place with 2 bobby pins, and I'm positioning them in an X shape so that they lock each other in place and they don't slip. Now you can leave your hairstyle like this just with a simple headband and leave all of your hair down, but I decided while I was doing this that I thought it would look better in a half up, half down hairstyle. So I'm just gathering all of the hair in front of the braid and a little bit behind the braid, and I'm just simply securing all of this hair in the back with a small hair elastic. I actually really like how this hairstyle turned out because it looks like the braid is having a peekaboo effect, and it was totally accidental, so that just goes to show that you should always play around with your hair and experiment with it. It's just hair, you can always take it apart, but you never know what you're going to stumble upon and what you're going to like. I'm loosening up this hairstyle just a little bit by pulling out some face framing pieces around my face and around my ears. So for this last braided look, and I'm telling you guys, this is so unique and so cute, and it's perfect not only for school, but I think if you're going to a music festival, this is going to be the bomb. What I'm doing is just sectioning my hair at the front from the top of my head to the front of my ears, and I'm sectioning away all of the hair in the back away from my face so it doesn't get in my way. I'm then further separating the front section into 4 sections, so I'm working with each half one at a time. All I'm doing is simply clipping in one of my one clip wefts into the middle of each section, and I'm braiding each section into a regular 3-strand braid and then pulling it apart a little bit with my fingers. I'm going to go ahead and braid the rest of my braids, and then I'm going to show you what I do next. So now that I have all 4 braids, I'm taking one of the braids and I'm starting to wrap it around itself, starting at the middle, and then I'm pinning it in place with bobby pins. So this is going to create a flower effect, and all 4 flowers together are going to look like a beautiful braided flower headband. So I'm going to go ahead and do the exact same thing with the remaining 3 braids, and then I'm going to go in and gently pull them apart a little bit to make them look a little bit more integrated. Now you can leave your beautiful braided flower headband as it is, or you can take it one step further and add some beautiful hair embellishments into the center of the braids. So what I decided to do was take some flower embellished bobby pins and pin them into the center of the braids to make this hairstyle look a little bit more whimsical, and it's totally more appropriate now for a music festival. So that basically gives you the option of dressing it down or dressing it up depending on your preference. So I know these 3 beautiful braided hairstyles are very unconventional, but that is the whole point. When you go back to school, you want a fresh new look that's unique and totally you. So try them out, practice them at home so that when school comes around, you'll be able to master them in 5 minutes or less. If you love this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up and leave me your feedback in the comment section below. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, please be sure to do so for more tutorials like this one. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. I love you, and I'll see you in my next video.